Now, I've got a concept for you guys to digest. This is my hypothesis. Now, I thought about this for a long time, and there's some logic behind what I'm going to tell you guys. But I think there, in our Milky Way galaxy and galaxies that have similar conditions to our Milky Way galaxy, I believe that we will discover a lot of Jurassic worlds that are populated by dinosaurs. And there's a reason behind this, and I can justify it with logic. I think that we will find an abundance of worlds in the Milky Way galaxy, at least, that have Jurassic dinosaurs walking on them. And the reason being is that the period that, using Earth as an example, the period that dinosaurs existed on Earth, they existed for a long time during what we consider the Mesozoic era. So this incorporates the Triassic era, the Jurassic era, and the Cretaceous era. Now, these dinosaurs walked on the supercontinent Pangaea, and they lived on Earth for 165 million years. Now, that is a huge time span for dinosaurs to exist on a planet. And what most people may not be aware of, that it was an extinction event that allowed dinosaurs to flourish. And it was an extinction event that wiped them out. Now, the end Triassic extinction event, often called the Great Dying, or the Permian Triassic extinction event, actually led to the conditions that enabled dinosaurs to flourish and diversify and multiply in numbers. And scientists are unsure why this Great Dying event took place, but the possible causes could have been a meteor event. It could have been a volcanic eruption, a supervolcano that caused this, or microbes were so abundant that they created that much methane that the methane leaked into the atmosphere and, created a greenhouse effect. So, there's a number of conditions that maybe they all worked in tandem, or, they created this mass extinction event, which wiped out 96% of all marine species around the end Triassic times. So, terrestrial vertebrates, 70% of them were wiped out. Now, this great wipeout enabled the dinosaurs to flourish and diversify and evolve and spread out. Now, they were able to exist for 165 million years before a meteorite came and wiped them out and caused another mass climate change event. So I think that we have to consider a few things. If we're going to consider the evolutionary processes that lead to dinosaurs existing, the lineages, there's common ancestral lineages that need to exist, and, evolution needs to do its thing. But if we take certain worlds, a lot of worlds will go through a similar process to Earth, and, where amino acids form, aminos become very complicated, and they, eventually give rise to basic single-celled organisms, and, they branch off, and eventually evolution should repeat processes that lead to certain species that open the possibility or give a probability of branch outs towards similar dinosaur type life forms. Now, if this happens, then extinction events seem to occur on planets given enough time, the probability increases. So as time goes by, the probability increases of an extinction event. And that's the main thing. Mathematics is the biggest factor in all of this, because given enough time, eventually an extinction event will happen on a planet. And when it changes the biodiversity and the animal life, biodiversity, manages to cling to life, to hold on and survive, and species evolve to the climate to adapt over time, and new species form. So as planets may go through similar processes to Earth, which I'm pretty sure they will, eventually dinosaurs, or species of animals we will consider dinosaurs that fall into that category, will exist. And they will exist for a finite amount of time, but that finite amount of time will be in the millions of years until an extinction event happens. But for some planets, depending on there's a lot of things that go into determining the probability of an extinction event occurring. So it could be, for Earth, it could be every, 165 million years, or, 250 million years. Other planets, because they have a different sized planets in their solar system, that probability factor changes. So the probability factor could be every billion years for certain planets of an extinction event occurring. If that's the case, then dinosaurs will live unhindered until they're hit with an extinction event. And really, it's all down to mathematics and probability. So I believe, based on these concepts that I'm presenting to you, that dinosaurs we have a good chance of finding them, and them being a very common thing on certain planets. And I believe that we will stumble across the first solar system that has a planet with dinosaurs on it. It's in a Jurassic state in the next 1,000 years. Because really, what causes extinction events? Well, volcanoes. They can cause mini ice ages. Sulfate particles get launched up into the air, and they reflect solar energy back into space, cause an ice age. High energy solar flares can also cause trouble. They can sterilize life on Earth. Asteroid impacts, probably the most common one, that end up triggering extinction events on planets for a commonality, that if you want to compare what extinction events here or in another solar system, probably asteroid impacts are probably the most common occurrences. Local gamma ray bursts are probably another one, caused by supernovas. But nearby supernova, the radiation from that can also cause an extinction event, but a supernova would have to be less than 50 light years away to a planetary solar system, so it's unlikely. Magnetars, they are remnants of a supernova, and they can really cause some damage, but some of the strongest magnetic fields in the universe come from magnetars, and they can wipe out everything on a planet. So probably not the one that would trigger a climate event for bringing dinosaur species into flourish or wiping them out. An expanding sun, yeah, probably. If no impact event wipes out dinosaurs on a planet, they could just flourish till the sun of a solar system burns out. It's possible. And that would mean that the window of us finding dinosaurs also increases, and the chances. And then methane releases from microbes and things like that can also cause climate change. But dinosaurs need a warm and humid climate. They belong to a group known as the archosaurs. which includes birds, crocodiles, and turtles. So, if an Archosaur group did come about because an extinction event allowed them to flourish, then yeah, that's my contention that we could expect to see dinosaurs as a very common feature on certain alien worlds, and I think we've got more of a chance of finding dinosaurs than anything else in terms of life. And, you know, people might call this preposterous, but that's my theory. And I've given a little bit of science to support it. You don't have to agree with it. But I want to hear your views of what you think, you know. So if I had to put a number on it, there's probably, I'm just taking a wild guess until I can do the calculations for it. I have to try and figure out the calculation for it. But if I'm going to take a wild guess, I'd say about 300 planets in the Milky Way galaxy have Jurassic life on it. Or some form of Jurassic life. Anyway, let me know what you think. This is my theory. I'm MC Rapology, checking out.